Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna talk about inflation. I wasn't sure if I was gonna call it inflation. I was thinking about RNAs, but I figured that's the most fitting. And I'm not at all talking about factories, you getting more factories and more equipment and more stuff per se. It's mainly that you get better technology sooner. And this, for me, when I'm playing multiplayer games, has become a big problem in recent times. Not that much before, but I realized more and more how insanely quick you can get some of the later technologies, like the Panther take, the 1944 airplane, or even the fighter jets, and some other stuff. And I think it's actually a big problem in Hearts of Iron right now. And it all comes down to the research bonuses that you get as all the different nations. So Germany gets his 100%, but that's just for Panzer free, so it's not that big of a deal. But those kind of examples, and I think it's a big problem, and I think that this is something that probably needs to be changed quite soon. And one of the most drastic of them is the UK one here, the secret weapons, 6 times for electronic rocket technology and nuclear technology. That doesn't seem too bad on its own, but if we tag over to England, we can see that they have decisions to get 6% research speed here, and we can also get 5% research speed here, and we start up with this one, so we can pick up this one really quick, mechanical computing. And with all that combined, they can actually get the 1945 nuke by 1939, about when the war breaks out in August. They can get this if they rush it super hard. And I think that's a big problem, that you can actually get nukes 6 years ahead of time, like in the beginning of World War II. I think stuff like that, it's just insane, and I have no idea how they allow it in the game. And also UK has this 2 times for fighter models, so they can get the 1944 airplane super quick as well on top of that. So UK is just unbeatable, I feel like, with those stuff. I think that's a big problem. So I thought about it a bit, how do you fix that? And some of the stuff I would like is mainly to remove these ahead of time things for miners. I think that's just dumb to have them for miners. And like this 2 times for fighters, because that just makes the miners so important for majors like Germany that doesn't have the fighters. So Germany doesn't have anything for producing planes, basically, at least. They have this one, but that's not fighter, this is not fighters, this is not fighter. So they don't have anything for fighters. And that's a big problem for Germany. So Germany needs allies that has it instead. And the main one is Hungary. Problem with Hungary is they have only one research thing for it here. This one. And it's ahead of time, but it's just one. So they can't really get the 1941 that efficiently. So they just have to research it manually. And that's also a big problem. So Germany really needs another ally to get the 1941. And that can be Italy. I think Italy has, yeah, they have it here. So Italy can be that. But it's like, if you're playing single player in Germany, it's so annoying to have to rely on your allies because they never give anything to you. And meanwhile, UK over here, they can just get everything for themselves. And I think it's a really unbalanced, and it makes it so the game is a lot more stale, because you know that we're gonna rush that, because that's what we have. That's what they have a focus for. I think that's kind of dumb. And also Japan over here, they have a 75 times for battleship. If I pick that up, they can get to 1944 super heavy in like 1937, which is kind of insane in my opinion. They can just rush down shit tons of those. I think stuff like this just makes the game boring. Being able to get to this ahead of time takes so early. So what I would suggest is either I have 2 suggestions. Either make the penalties for ahead of time double, or like a shit ton more, so you can't really research them ahead of time. Because I feel like if you get the 1943 take here is meant to be picked up 1943, so why are you allowed to research it like 1940 or 1939? But I think that's insane, even with research bonuses. And then I think that and else, well, if you do that, give them more ahead of penalties, I think that wouldn't be necessary if you just reworked how this ahead of this 2 times thing is. I think that it should just be applied to the part here, which is so you see how this is 3 years ahead of time, it's 808. Instead of you just half that for the new, it will basically half the 186 days, and the rest would be penalty. So the penalty would be the same, and it would just be 90 days for the normal. I think that would also, and then you wouldn't need as big penalties for ahead of time. You would be even maybe smaller penalties, but that would make it so you just can't, and you would need these ahead of time minus 100% to actually pick them up at all, like 1 or 2 years ahead. You can't rely on these 2 times, and that would work. That probably do limit. The problem with my suggestions is they really limit what you can research, because then you can basically only research 1936 stuff, 1936, and so on. And maybe that's boring and stale, but for MPs, I think it's probably necessary, because I actually don't think it's that fun being able to research like nukes 1939. I think that's just so insane how you can do that. That's basically what I just want to talk about today. That's what I had in mind, and I think it's a big problem right now. Hopefully they fix some of it in the next update with UK. Maybe not all of it. Maybe they're gonna not do anything about it, because maybe Paradox wants you to be able to research this stuff ahead of time. I actually don't know. I think it's dumb that you can, but hey, what do I know? I'll see you guys next time.